my name is Giselle Aldridge. I'm from Greensboro, North Carolina. I'm currently living in Charlotte, North Carolina, because I recently got married. So previously I was Giselle Abreu, now I'm Giselle Aldridge. I'm excited to be starting this class with all of you guys. I'm excited to be learning and reading new things. So a couple of things about me. I well, some things that I like about myself, I guess is better said. I'm a creative person. I like that I'm a creative person. I feel like I'm a passionate person. I also believe that I am a compassionate person because of my love of reading. I love to read. I also love to write. And I think that has helped me understand the world better and others around me better. And I also think that it's helped me be able to put myself in other people's shoes because your imagination kind of puts you in other people's worlds and forces you to think outside of yourself. And so I like that about myself, and I like that I can apply these things in this class, which is part of the reason I have decided to take it. My husband and I previously went to BYU-Idaho, but he graduated and got a job here in Charlotte, and so we decided to move, and I decided to finish my degree online because the rest of the classes offered for my degree were offered online, thankfully, in English. So a couple other things about myself. I love lemons. I love the color blue. I love mermaids. And I love the ocean. If I could be a mermaid and swim in the ocean all day, that would be fabulous. So I have my list of 10 books right here. So I'll be looking back and forth between the list occasionally. But I'm excited to share them with you. So my first book on the list is The Island of the Blue Dolphins, or Island of the Blue Dolphins. I can't remember if it has a the in it or not. Either way, it's by Scott Odell. And this book is about a girl who lives on an island off the coast of California. And it takes place in the 1800s. And her people at the time, she's a native islander, are being forced off the island. And so they go on a boat and leave, and she is left behind. And it's just about her journey, surviving it, and it is a wild ride. And I definitely remember really enjoying it as a kid. The next book on my list is Esperanza Rising. I love this book. It is the first book that I really remember connecting with on a personal level because I'm part Dominican. My dad is from the Dominican Republic, and Esperanza in the book, the main character, is Mexican. And even though I'm not Mexican, I related with all the Spanish that was spoken and the little words here and there. Essentially, it's about this girl who lives in Mexico, is very rich in Mexico, and then her father dies. Spoiler alert, sorry. And it's part of the premise. Anyway, so she has to move to the United States and work, and it's about her transformation from being in Mexico and living here where she doesn't know the language and she's adjusting, and I loved it as a kid. The next book on my list is The Little Princess. So this is by Frances Hodgson Burnett and is about a girl who is very rich, gets sent to a boarding school, and then her father, another spoiler alert, dies. And because he dies, she loses all of her riches and has to become a maid to these girls because she can't afford her tuition anymore. And while she's there, goes through a bunch of things, lots of adventures. I have a lot of personal feelings with this book because I was part of a play with it, and so I have a lot of memories and a lot of experiences. For anyone who knows the story, I was Ramdas, the Indian servant, and during the part in the play or in the book, the story, where he comes and decorates the room for the girls, I was climbing in through the window as a 13-year-old and with bringing in all of the food and the decorations. And I fell flat on my butt on opening night. And so I have a lot of fond memories of that story in that book. Um, the next book on my list is Ella Enchanted by Gail Carson Levine, which is about just kind of a retelling of the Cinderella story. I really enjoyed it as a kid. And it takes a kind of not modern, but more of a power to Cinderella, I would say, to add to the story. Um, the next book on my list is I'd Tell You I Love You, but Then I'd Have to Kill You by Ally Carter. And it's about a girl who goes to a school for spies, but then falls in love with a boy who does not go to that school for spies, and just her adventures figuring it all out. The next book on my list is a picture book called Big Al by Marcus I don't know how to say his last name. This book terrified me as a kid because the illustrations are rather scary looking. It's about this fish who becomes friends with all the other fish, but they are at first afraid of him, and I was afraid of him. But I love this book because it has some great messages and really stuck out to me as a kid. The next book is Rainbow Fish. Oh, no. Rainbow Fish is by Marcus Pfeffer. Big Owl is by Andrew Clemens. So Rainbow Fish by Marcus Pfeffer is about this fish who has a bunch of very pretty scales that he shares with the other fish around him. The next book is Magic Tree House, specifically the book Summer of the Sea Serpent. I remember this is the first book that I really took home and read it all the way through from start to finish, didn't stop. I loved it so much. It's about a girl and boy, Jack and Annie, who are siblings, and they go on a magic tree house. They fly through time and go defeat a serpent. And it's a really awesome story. And that's by Mary Pope Osborne. The next book on my list is Percy Jackson, the first book in the series, The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. I just have a lot of fun memories with that book. It's about a boy named Percy who discovers he's a demigod and that his father is Poseidon. So that's pretty interesting. And just how that plays out. And the last book on my list is The Mistwick School of Musicraft by Jessica Corey. And this book actually recently just came out exclusively as an audiobook. And it's middle grade. I loved this book. It's about this girl who lives in a world where music is musical instruments, I should say, can produce musicraft, which can produce different music, what am I saying? They can control the elements. They can do different things, like controlling levitating items, building bridges, just a lot of cool things. And this girl goes to a school, a very competitive school, to learn musicraft with her flute. And the audiobook has a lot of inserted different songs in it, and so it's pretty cool. So that's my top 10 favorite children's books. I'm excited to add more to the list as we continue this class, and I'm excited to get to know all of you as well. Okay, bye!